Let's look at the budget from an investor point of view. James Gerrish from Shaw and Partners and Market Matters joining us now. James, good to talk to you. So how should investors look at this document that the government has come up with? Of course, you look at some of these packages, in particular, I was mentioning their housing, some stocks perhaps to consider, bearing in mind where the government is spending its money.
Yeah, good morning to you, Andrew. I'll start off by premising the fact that budgets traditionally don't have a huge influence on or a prolonged influence on markets. So I think that's the first thing that I'd say. There's some change around buybacks in play. So obviously they've put forward a policy that changes some treatment around franking credits. It effectively brings off the table the strategy of doing big off-market buybacks where a large dividend, fully franked dividend, is given a small capital component. So that is off the table. You made mention of stocks to benefit. You could have there's obviously a focus on more affordable housing. So you think about the housing stocks there. So Stockland could be a beneficiary there. Mirvac would be another one I'd mention. House materials, so Adbri, ABC, James Hardie, JHX. Boral is another potential beneficiary there. And then in terms of housing fixtures and fittings, so Reece, REH, and GWA would be one I'd highlight there. But overall, look, Andrew, I'd say that it's more of a a fiscally responsible budget. Obviously, it's banking some of the savings that have been generated from high commodity prices. It's aligned with what the RBA are doing. So obviously, it's going to be it's not going to add to inflationary pressures. So therefore, you'd probably see all things being equal, bond yields in Australia shouldn't rally or move as high as other areas of the globe, and therefore the Aussie dollar shouldn't the Aussie dollar should probably remain under pressure as a consequence of that.
So James, other than, as you mentioned there, the changes just as far as buybacks and franking credits are concerned, when you look at the packages that the government's come up with, are you saying perhaps it hasn't really changed your investment thesis here in regards to, we've talked about housing, childcare packages, education, environment, and how that is likely to perhaps benefit battery metal stocks, for instance?
Yeah, I mean, it's at the margin. So I don't think it changes the investment thesis from yesterday to today. So a lot of the information had been pre-released. So I don't think we go out there and change what we're doing in terms of a market's point of view because of the document we've seen overnight. Obviously, housing was put front and center, and I just touched on that. You made mention of sort of future-facing commodities, and there's some money in the budget to help in that regard. So but that's a theme that we've already known. So, that's not new news coming out of this document overnight. In terms of childcare, G8 Education is potentially a beneficiary there, getting more, making childcare cheaper and making it more accessible to more people. That obviously supports utilisation in childcare centres. So G8 Education would be a beneficiary there, but it's obviously, it's a staged process. It doesn't happen overnight. So it's obviously out in the coming years that it will benefit a stock like G8 Education, but that was up in the last couple of days. I'd note there, Andrew.